So about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, three, time means nothing to my vacation brain. Kayla from Books and Lala posted the Buzzwordathon themes and words and stuff for the next year, for 2022. And if you go to Story Graph, you can actually link up to the challenge. I think you can find it on Goodreads as well. And the themes are kind of like they were this past year, where, you know, you can take that theme and do it for the first week, and read as many books as you can that week, or you just do it for the whole month. And we're gonna play fast and loose with the rules this year, because last year it was really difficult to do this once I started teaching in August. It wasn't so bad at the beginning of the year, and obviously through the summer that was easy. But it's just 7 days. I can barely get one book done. But I am going to try to make this a little bit more of an actual challenge for myself this year, in which I have already pulled out all the books that I think I could possibly read for this, realistically. And I'm only going to go from my physical TBRs. The rule is I can listen to an audiobook version of it, but I have to have a physical version of the book to count, you know, because this past year I was just kind of downloading audiobooks to get a last minute word in, and that just didn't seem right. I didn't actually take anything away from what I had in the room in my library. So let me go month by month. I've already pulled out all the books I think I'm going to read, and tell you what the theme is for that month and what I'm hoping I'm going to be able to read that month to help meet that goal. So for January, we are doing who, what, when, where, why, and how, which is kind of fun considering that's a really important thing in English, so the 5 W's. And so I found titles that have who, what, when, where, why, or how in it. I have 3 options here. I have What the Dickens by Gregor Maguire. I have What the Wind Knows by Amy Harmon. And I have The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. All 3 are pretty good options. I'm more leaning toward The Girl Who Drank the Moon and What the Dickens. But we'll see what gets read. I would love to get all 3 done. I think that would be fantastic. But as long as I get 1 done, it completes the challenge. February's prompt is a pronoun. So he, she, they, we, us, them, pronouns. I only have 1 option for this. I want to read We Ride Upon Sticks. Man, that looks really bright on the screen. I want to read this. I've wanted to read this for about a year. I've had this book about a year, so I need to read it. I have other books I'm sure I could use, but I really want to read this one, so I'm not going to give myself the option to do anything else. If I can find it on audio, sure, but I will probably read this physically. The theme for March is a location. So for location, I gave myself 2 options. These are both kind of thick boys, but it's all right. I have The Witches of St. Petersburg, which is the location, and Washington Black. Washington is a location. So these are the 2 that I could hopefully read in March, but we'll see. For April, you are going to choose a book with either big or little in the title. Like Big Little Lies would actually cover both. It's kind of funny. But I only gave myself 1 option for this one as well. So April, I'm only going to read Have a Little Faith. This is the book I have to read in April. It's Have a Little Faith. I've put it off long enough. I need to read it. I owe it to Gina to read this book. So this is my book for April for little. May is supposed to be a direction like north, south, east, west. And I'll have to rewatch the video because I think it's also like up, down, over, under, like that kind of thing. If it is, cool. If not, I'm in trouble because I have 2 options, and one of them follows that rule of directions. It's East of Eden by John Steinbeck, which is obviously a big, thick boy. And the other one is Rose Under Fire, which is the sequel to Codename Verity. This is actually an ARC. I wish I had the final version, but I might be able to grab that from my classroom library and use it. But I would like to read one, if not both of those, for the month of May, which is probably going to be doable up to a point because May is like testing and school is kind of over. But I'm administering tests this year, so it's going to be pretty stressful. Hopefully not too bad, but I can hopefully squeeze 2 books in. So let's move on to June. June was hard. June was not easy. June is the word all in a title. And again, I limited myself to things I have in this room, things I have in my library. And the only thing I could find in my library that's already like in my system, like in my computer where I can search it, is The Singer of All Songs, which is a fantasy series. I bought this in high school at my sister's elementary scholastic fair. This and the sequel. I've never read the third book. I like this one. It's about a girl who can like sing magical things into happening. It's interesting. I just don't remember a lot of it. So this is actually going to be a reread. Like this is a reread. So I'm kind of technically cheating. But I have to. Like I don't have anything else with all in it unless I'm bequeathed something with all. This is it. July is a book related word, so book, novel, library, story, that kind of thing. I think I have some more that would probably work for this, but I think I'm just gonna read this one, the Book of Essie. Look at that holographic. That's so pretty. It's got holographic writing. I got this from Dollar Tree for $1. It's about a girl who gets pregnant out of wedlock, and she's like the daughter of like a big evangelical fundamentalist group, kind of like the Duggars. So it could be really interesting. But that's going to be the only book I read for that. That's the only one I have that I think says book or library or something that I have in here. And if I find something else, obviously I'll put it on there, but I think this is going to be it. For August, I do have other ones I could do, but I just picked one because I didn't want to overcomplicate my life. Again, I'll add more if I finish this one early and want to keep going. I have The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware because it's an object. August is an object or item in the title. It's Turn of the Key, the object. So this is for August. September is light or dark in the title. So words of light or dark in the title. And I did one of both. I did The Light Between Oceans, which is like a historical fiction romance thing, but I'm interested to read it. And then This Present Darkness, which is Christian fiction, but it's like supernatural, like demons attack this small town. And I'm interested to know if it's good. My mom really likes it. Like she really liked it's a duology. It's This Present Darkness and Piercing the Darkness. It's a duology. And I've read Frank Peretti before and thought he was really good considering it's Christian fiction. But I read The Oath by him about a town that was like haunted by a dragon, and it still somehow ended up being like really preachy and really negative toward women. So I hope this one's good. So that's why I gave myself 2 options. Maybe one will be a hit if the other's a miss. October is an animal or creature in the title. So it's like, read monster stuff because it's October. And I picked 3. This is my really, I'm being really bold and forward thinking for October. I don't think this is going to be realistic, but we'll see. I'm doing The Marewife, and this is playing a little fast and loose with the rules because technically the Marewife isn't an animal, but it is a creature, and it's based on Beowulf, so I just want to read it. It's an excuse to read it. I've got Bunny by Mona Awad, because it's an animal, and Tell the Wolves I'm Home, Wolves and Animal. So that is for October. November is books with ing in the title. So taking, thinking, doing, anything that ends with ing. And I realized I don't have a lot of those either. In fact, the only one I could find is the only one I'm going to read. And it is one of the oldest books in this library. It's My Darling, My Hamburger, which is like a 1970s YA contemporary, I think. When was this published originally? Because it's got to be old. Yeah, 1969. And it's just about a group of friends who are, yeah. But it's short and sweet and to the point, so that'll be going for November, because November's kind of busy with all the holiday stuff approaching. Last but not least, December of next year will be The Title Contains a Number, and I have 3 for this one. Knowing that I get winter break in December, I can read through winter break. We have Station 11, which I've been meaning to read. We have A Tale of Two Cities, so 2, and Fahrenheit 451. So that gives me 3 options to read in the month of December. So as you can see above me, I have all of these books up here in the middle of my shelf so I can see them. They're already pulled out. I don't have to go looking for them. I don't have to wonder every month what there is to read. I have at least 1 option per month up here already. Again, I reserve the right to add more, but this is what we have right now. Let me know what you're thinking about reading. I get involved in the groups and I see what other folks are reading, but it almost gets overwhelming sometimes. But I do go there for ideas. That's how I found a bunch of the ones I did this year. I'd managed to read something for every month this year, even if it took me the entire month. and mostly it was on audiobook. So again, I might read some of these audio, but that still counts. But yeah, let me know if there's anything you're particularly interested in reading, so I can get some more ideas in case I flake on these. Bye.